Vladislav Tretiak did not start a game. Well, we remember back to the Challenge Cup last year in the third and deciding game when Mushkin started. Over the line, a 2-on-1. Harlamov getting set. It rolls to the goal mouth, and down goes Lindberg. Right off the face-off at center ice. A quick 2-on-1, and not a very good shot by Harlamov. Lindberg was able to cover up. Lindberg, they tell me, and you were there, Tom, played very, very well in the USSR tournament this year.
Excellent.
From the face-off, Alberg picked up the puck, but they had an encroachment in the face-off circle, so they'll do it again.
Very well at Rude Prague. He shut out Canada's national team 2-0 in Prague earlier this year.
From the face-off, there's a hard shot from the blue line taken by Kazatonov. Another shot. They're just winding up and firing. That was Fetisov that let that one go. Behind the net, now it's cleared out in front by Mikhailov and ends up out at center ice, and Fetisov is back to get it. Forechecking is Alberg. It's cleared out to center ice. Harlamov coming back into his own end. Right on top of him is Holmgren at center ice. Harlamov over the line now. Harlamov stick handling, and he fired that over top of the net. It rolls out in front. They score right off the top. It is Petrov who put it into the net in the goal mouth area, and the Soviets have just really got the Swedes just flat-footed here.
Harlamov making a good move, goes down, fakes the shot the first time over the net, but it bounces loose. Harlamov stays with it, tips it in front. Petrov just cruising in front of the net, puts it behind Lindberg for the Soviets to go ahead 1-0.
Face off on the far side. Now it's taken by Eriksson, but he can't control it. Now Waltin shooting it out to center ice. And back in his own zone for the Soviets, that's Vasiliev. Vasiliev over for Starikov. Out at center ice and down over the line. Balderas. Balderas out in front. A quick shot and a good blast there by Shlutov. Behind the net, it goes into the corner. Digging in after it there is Skvortsov. Here's the shot and another hard shot. And the puck rolls loose out in front of the net. The Soviets have got the pressure on again. Shlutov in the corner. Big Shlutov, 6'3", rolls it out in front of Balderas, fanned on it. Vasiliev at the blue line. Try to clear it in front. It goes to the far boards, and Norberg has it. Norberg clearing it down into the Soviet end. Behind the net for the Soviets, it's Vasiliev, and it's called for a face-off back in the Swedish end of the ice on the icing. Petrov from Harlamov at 36 seconds, and the Soviets lead the silver medal game 1-0.
The veteran Petrov on the Soviet bench, perhaps his last Olympic tournament, perhaps even his last game with the national team, because in talking to people around the tournament, they think that this line, this experienced line, Petrov, Harlamov, and Mikhailov, this may be their last hurrah.
From the face-off now taken out at center ice, cleared ahead over the blue line. Anderson turning with it, shooting it out to center ice. And here come the Swedes now. Down over the line comes Moline. Moline trying to split the defense, and he was unable to, and the Soviets come roaring right back. Down over the line, Makarov, and his shot is blocked at the defense. Puck rolls behind the net. Veered in against the boards. They're taken by Eriksson. Eriksson tried to hit the line. Alexander Golikov's in there, but it's offside. Face-off outside the Swedish end. We played a minute 52 here in the hockey game. 1-0 for the Soviets. There you see Lindberg. There's the goal. Getting behind Lindberg. Not much chance on that one. There's a shot by Harlamov. It bounces back. Harlamov partially fanned on it, but he got it over for Petrov and into the net. And they'll redo that face-off. As you see Petrov on the bench. Petrov, a member of the Central Red Army. He's been with the national team since 1968. He's got 8 World Championship gold medals and 2 Olympic golds, and he's going for a silver in this one. Doesn't know much about losing hockey games, that's for sure. Puck is in the corner now. In there after it, and picking it up is Lebedev. He clears it around the far side, down at the center ice, off Lebedev's stick, and Krutov was unable to get it. Now against the boards, Alberg cleared out at center ice from Maltsev. In over the line, forechecking on the play is Krutov. He's a great young hockey player, Krutov. He's forechecking again. Carrying the puck is Naslund. Over to this side, taken by Weinstock. Weinstock, Jonsson at center ice, 2-line pass called on that offside pass. And we'll have another face-off. As we say, Alberg, he was second in the Swedish scoring race last year. That's the Swedish Elite League, as they call it, to Anders Kaller, who is now playing with the New York Islanders. He missed the scoring championship by just 2 points. They play a 36-game schedule there. He had 45 points, including 28 goals. Alberg, number 12 for the Swedes. The puck is cleared out over center ice, down into the Soviet zone. Drop pass, and out at center ice, hit the heel of the skate of Balderas, Waltzing down in his own end. At center ice now, cleared right onto the stick. Good move there by Starikov. Has reacted to that very, very well. Now Harlamov. Harlamov to the line. And trailing is Mihailov. He's in with that puck. Gets it. The quick shot of his. And it was right on, and Lindbergh made the save. Here's Harlamov digging for it on the far boards. This line's really buzzing around here. Here's Harlamov. Harlamov into the slot. Gets it. He shoots. Oh, what a save there by Lindbergh. A bouncing puck in front of the net. Now it's Eriksson. Eriksson to the far boards. Then the return pass goes right by him, and it's center ice. It's Starikov. To Mihailov, to Petrov, to Mihailov, down behind the net. Now Lindbergh out of the net, flips it along the glass. On the far side, trying to keep it in as Vasiliev. It comes out to center ice. There's a good pass. Over the line now. Here's Moline getting set. Passed it over to the side of the net. Out in front. That one intended there. And the puck is shot wide of the net. It bounces behind the net. Now out in front again. The shot right through the goal crease. On the far boards, Mihailov chops it into the corner. Vasiliev ahead for Petrov. Over on this side for Starikov. Starikov leaving it for Vasiliev along the boards and down into the Swedish zone. In after it, Balderas. He's muscled in against the boards. Balderas with the puck again. And Eriksson's going to move in there now and try and hold it. Pin it in there as they poke away at it. It's called for a face-off to the right of the Swedish goal.
As you said, Ron, it's been the veteran line of the Soviets who have been controlling the play. Both their shifts, Petrov, Harlamov, and Mikhailov, it looks like they're going to be content to get the silver. They want to get the silver. They don't want the bronze. Maybe perhaps their last Olympic game, they gave it all out in the first two shifts of the hockey game that they've taken.
Shlukov, the big fellow, out there to take the draw. Against Moline from the face-off. Balderas to Shlukov. Shlukov rolling it in front for Balderas. It's steered off behind the net by Anderson. Now along the boards. Working it out is Eriksson at center ice. Anderson over the line, over to the far side. There's a chance for the Swedes as they get it in front of the net, and it's steered into the corner. Balderas. Balderas drops it off. Pervukin back to Balderas now. Big Shlukov cutting across at center ice as Balderas weaves his way out of the zone. Into the center ice area he comes. And he collides with Shlukov. That's like running into a Mack truck behind the net now. Puck is still inside the zone. Now out in front, here's Balderas getting set, and he is spun around. There'll be a penalty called by the referee, Bernie Haley, against the Swedes. It's 1-0 Soviets. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. And from the face-off, the puck is batted ahead with a glove, so they'll take the face-off all the way down to the other end of the ice. The penalty, by the way, Lundholm, number 17 for the Swedes, for hooking at 4:49. There's Bernie Haley from Canada, the referee in this hockey game. Soviets win this one, they get the silver medal. The Swedes win it, they get the silver medal. Fedisov at center ice. His pass was off Holmgren's skate. Back inside the zone, Alexander Golikov, one of the two brothers. Round the net. Ahead at center ice, Vladimir Golikov. He loses it. Fedisov turns around with it. Feeds it over to the far side for Kasatonov. Kasatonov out over center ice himself. Works to the line. Still has that puck. Kasatonov going to the boards on the far side. Kasatonov on the power play. Watch these Soviets shift around inside the zone, and look at this, they throw the puck away. At center ice now, Holmgren overskates it, but he's got the puck. Now Golikov. Golikov over for Makarov. He's over the line. Makarov going one-on-one. The shot, he scores! What an effort by Makarov as he went in one-on-one with Weinstock. Got to the backhand and fired it past Lindbergh, and it is 2-0 on a power play goal.
Makarov, 21 years old, steals the puck just in the neutral zone. The little tip from Golikov, moves in. He's got the little stick, very small stick, a short player, goes to his backhand, slides around. Lindbergh, the puck goes right between his legs, just that small opening. He didn't close his legs quick enough. On the backhand, Soviet Union goes ahead 2-0.
Well, I think we can assume that they do, in fact, want the silver medal. They're playing pretty well here early in the game. Puck is poked away on the far boards now. Maltsev cleared right back into the Soviet end. Back to get it for the Soviets, Valery Vasiliev. Slammed in against the boards by Norberg. And the puck is out at center ice once again. On the far boards, Eriksson. Eriksson shooting it in. Vasiliev once again. Vasiliev working with Starikov, and he gets the pass. Now out at center ice, Krudov. Krudov Had it roll off his stick. Inside the blue line now. The Swedes just iced the puck all the way down into the Soviet zone. Starikov will go back to collect it. And as he touches it, it's called on the icing. The power play goal. Makarov from Alexander Golikov at 5:52. 2-0. The Soviets are leading the game. We have now played 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Viktor Tikhonov, the coach. A frustrating tournament, I think, for him. It didn't look like they were very happy when they came on the ice, Tom. So their warm-ups here at the Olympic Fieldhouse. Pervukin over to the far side. Ilya lets it off on the ice now as it comes into Mushkin. Into the corner. Turning with it is Ilya Letzinov to the far corner. Out ahead for Harlamov. This line has really been flying. It pokes ahead, and here comes Harlamov again. Over the line. Look out. It's Mihailov in front of the net, and he had it hop off his stick. Good play. Out in front into the slot, but they couldn't get it to the defenseman, and the Swedes come right back. Lundholm trying to get it over the line, and the Soviets are just lining up and stopping them every time they try. Now it's Petrov over the line, offside. Mihailov came in too quickly on the left wing, so the offside is called.
As you said at the beginning, the Soviets weren't too happy when they came out from the warm-up. As a matter of fact, Fedosov, you get another look at the goal. Makarov just pushing the puck on his backhand after making a good move around Weinstock, putting it between Lindbergh's legs. There's Makarov, the goal scorer, but they weren't too happy. Fedosov just took a swing at the glass when he came out, butt end of the glass, as soon as he came out of on the ice in the warm-up.
Puck rolls out into the slot area. Now it's cleared out to center ice. The Swedes carrying the puck down over the line is Jonsson. He gets in, but then it pops out over the line, and Holmgren brought it in offside. So it's called again. There is Mushkin, the young goaltender. Into this game, he replaced that fella, Vladislav Tretiak, for the second period of the game against the United States. And it appears that he may be the goaltender we'll be seeing a lot of in international hockey. The Swedes inside their own end. Fedosov around the board, straight up to Shlukov. Shlukov on the far side, down over the line comes Skvortsov. Baldera swooping into the slot. Shlukov gets the pass back to Baldera to Fedosov. Fedosov's shot is right on, and it's blocked by Lindbergh, and he holds on.
As we've seen so many times in the tournament, the Soviet defensemen are not afraid to move right up on the plate. The little drop pass inside the top. He's right down as far as the dots to take that shot, and that's the fourth man. What you have to watch for in the Soviets is not just the slot man, the third forward coming. You've got to watch for the fourth and the fifth man coming in to get the opportunity.
Now the face-off. Valtin from the face-off loses the puck. Golikov trying to get it out. He does. Right to the blue line. Vasilyev's shot, and that whistle's just wide. Starikov moving in. He fanned on that pass partially, and carrying it around behind his own net is Eriksson. Out to center ice from Valtin to Eriksson. Eriksson getting it caught up in his skates. Works to the line. Feeds it in. There was a player trapped inside the line, and it's called on the offside, and another face-off as we look at Sergei Starikov. And one of the Golikov brothers there, that's Alexander Golikov. From the Kiev region, he plays with Gorky Torpedo, and he's been with the national team since just last year. But we're seeing the new faces now being moved in. Seeing players that will be, I imagine, for the 1984 Olympics. Golikov dropping it into the corner for Sweden. Starting out is Molin. Molin around to this side for Thomas Eriksson. Out to center ice, Lundholm. Lundholm controlling it, now getting it ahead. Anderson, he's forced back. Now Lundqvist. Lundqvist shooting it in. It's over top of the net, off the blocking glove there of Mushkin behind the net, and Alexander Golikov. A rink-wide pass. Makarov, Alexander Golikov to the line. Stick handles into the far side. Shot in by Vasilyev. And the Swedes take possession, only to lose it in front of the net. And a good save there by Lindbergh. And the puck goes to the far boards. Lundholm loses it to Makarov. He stick handles to the line, forced to retreat under some pressure. Makarov still fighting with the puck as he gets it over the line, but it's cleared right back out again, and Sarakov's got it back to Vasilyev. Vasiliev to Alexander Golikov. Golikov over to the far side now, changing on the fly. The Soviets as Lebedev breaks into the line. Lebedev over now for Makarov. Makarov shooting it in behind the net. Golikov, he's slammed in there. The puck bounces high in the air, and the Swedes come away with young Mats Naslund. Naslund at center ice. He can fly over the line, drops the puck. Here's the shot, and it's blocked. Good play there by Vasiliev. Puck is behind the net. Cleared against the boards on the far side. Weinstock, he gets it out at center ice as he's turned around partially by Lebedev. Now it's fed over to this side. Jonsson over the line. His shot is blocked at the defense. Into the corner it goes. Weinstock in there, poking away at it. Puck comes out, and the Soviets have it again. They're moving. Here's a 2-on-1. Maltsev's over the line with Krutov. Maltsev circling the defense, getting set, rolls it to the goal mouth area. In too deep on the play was Krutov. Krutov over to this side. Here's the chance. Bilyaletdinov scores. 3-0 Soviets. Bilyaletdinov getting the goal.
Bilyaletdinov moving right in again, just what we've talked about before earlier in the show. The Soviets attack with all 5 players. They control deep in the zone, and you see him moving right in from the blue line. Again, almost into the dot. There's the little tip from in front of the net. Maltsev scoring from Bilyaletdinov, but he's not afraid to move in. But the goal goes to Maltsev, who just tipped the shot from the defenseman as he moved in from the point.
Petrov from the face-off has it at center ice. Fetisov clears it in over the line. Turning with it for Sweden is Leif Holmgren. Now over for Håkan Eriksson. In front of the net, Weltin all the way to center ice with that lead pass. Ahead, spun around as he hit the line was Norberg, and back. Now at center ice, Soviets again control. They've been in control of things totally since this hockey game started. Kazanov leaving it for Mihailov over to the far side. Fetisov out at center ice for Harlamov. Harlamov over the line with Mihailov and Petrov. Petrov hacking away at it. Here's Mihailov cutting through the slot. And he couldn't get the shot away, and the puck is cleared down the ice all the way to the Soviet goal. There'll be no icing on it as Petrov gets the pass from behind the net. Ahead for Mihailov. Mihailov being wrestled off the puck. Moline turning with it. At center ice, Moline leading the rush. Moline's over the line. He's stopped by Petrov coming up from behind. And here comes Petrov. Petrov ahead for Mihailov. And he tried to turn with that pass. And as he did, he was checked by Thomas Eriksson. Out at center ice, Lundqvist unable to get past Petrov. Petrov rolling it in front of the net. Eriksson. Eriksson shooting it out to center ice. And it's Kazanov. Kazanov ahead, intended for Petrov. Soviets on a change right now as Anderson comes over the line. Here's the return pass for Lundqvist, and it went right by him. Now Balderas up the left boards ahead. That's a pass for Petrov, offside on the play, and the Soviets will complete their change as the Petrov line goes off the ice. And if we're seeing the Petrov, Harlamov, Mihailov line for the last time, I'll tell you, they're putting on a show.
There's the little tip in, Maltsev moving. Again, the defenders, they're not afraid. You know, the Soviet philosophy is when they attack with all 5 players. The defense, when you have possession of the puck, they're part of the attacking unit, and they're not afraid to move in and take chances to get a goal.
Vasiliev back in his own zone, ahead for Shlutov. Shlutov over to the far side for Balderas to Shlutov, and Shlutov had it roll off the end of his stick. Behind the net. The Swedes again trying to get control of this game, and so far failing to is Jonsson. Jonsson backing up against the boards, clears it over the far side off the skate of Weinstock. In for checking. There is Sportsov. And the puck finally comes out to center ice. The Swedes coming away. Mats Alberg stops in over the line. Alberg trying to drop it off. And here come the Soviets with Balderas on a break. Balderas alone gets it, shoots, and the save by Lindberg. Out come the Swedes. Jonsson at center ice. Dropped off. Now it's at center ice with Weinstock shooting it in. Digging in is Starikov. Checking for Sweden is Alberg. It's cleared along the board. Shlutov ahead for Balderas. Balderas is over the line. Stops. Balderas dropping it back. Still has that puck. Now out in front, here's the shot taken from the blue line by Vasiliev. It drips into the crowd, and it's called for a face-off. The Soviets leading this game 3-0.
What a show they're putting on, too. Balderas going off the ice. They're getting cheeky now, being ahead 3-0. Balderas makes the breakaway first. Tries to put the puck between Lindberg's leg. Lindberg dropping, makes the save, but Balderas coming back, did a little spinorama, took the puck between his legs, kicked it back onto his stick, just playing with it.
Paul Deris voted the top forward in the 1977 World Championships. Another Soviet win, of course. Puck is against the boards on the far side. Taking a hit in there is Sergei Makarov. The puck winds up in Soviet possession as Alexander Golikov gives it to his brother Vladimir. Over the line, there he is, coming through as he got by the defense, but then lost possession of it. Against the boards, Pervukin moving in. Puck comes out to center ice once again, and turning with it is Bilyaletdinov. He just flips it ahead. Pervukin working it to the line. It drops in there. Eriksson, Jan Eriksson. Out ahead for Håkan Eriksson at center ice. Sweden. Leonard at Nordberg. Shooting it in. Into the corner he goes, following the puck. He's pushed in against the boards. Sweden still with that puck. Here's Anderson, the shot, and he's just wide with that one. Now Bilyaletdinov. Around behind the net for Pervukin. Pervukin ahead for Alexander Golikov. It went right by him all the way down into Swedish territory. Sture Anderson will touch it, and is called for the icing with 5:31 left in the period. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. From the face-off, the puck rolled right into Mushkin, the goaltender, and we'll have a face-off in the Soviet end again with 5:16 remaining in the period. Don't forget, we're on the air almost all day with live Olympic coverage, figure skating exhibition tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Always a fun thing. It'll come to you from this very spot, the Olympic Fieldhouse, 7 o'clock Eastern Time tonight on CTV. Puck is cleared down into the Swedish end, past Alexander Maltsev. He got the puck, but it was called on the icing, and back into Soviet territory it will go for another face-off. There's Lebedev from the Soviet Wings Hockey Club. He's been with the national team since 1973. Actually, in his first Olympics, he's kind of a spot forward. There's Alexander Maltsev, and is he ever going to play another hockey game for the Soviets?
Well, I'm not sure whether he is. He's perhaps going to be in his last game as well, but a great performer for the Soviet Union for many years.
He's had a pretty good tournament, too. 5 goals, 4 assists so far. Now here's Harlamov flying down that right wing again. Boy, are they skating. Here he is down against the side of the board. Take a shot. There's another shot. And that one was taken by Petrov, and he got whacked, I think, across the hand as he took that shot. And he's not too pleased with Alberg. Now Petrov collides with Harlamov, goes to the far side. The Swedes are over the line once again. Naslund shooting it in. And is taken there for the Soviet Union by Starikov out at center ice, and went right by Mihailov and up into the bench of the Swedes, and is called for another face-off. The all-time leader in the Soviet Major League in scoring, Boris Mihailov. I have seen him do some things in World Tournament play over the years. Oldest member of the team in the Central Red Army. 7 World Championships, 2 gold medals, and perhaps a silver medal to go with those here at Lake Placid. Now it's kept in by the defense of Sweden, Söderström, at the side of the net. Cleared around the boards by Bilyaletdinov. But the Swedes with Valtin. He got spun around on the play as Swartzov came in on him. That's Shlukov that came in on him. Cleared around behind the net once again for Bilyaletdinov. He stopped up against the boards, and they'll draw the whistle off to the right of Mushkin. There, I think, a shot of Håkan Eriksson from Djurgårdens, which is the Swedish champion. Only played 19 international games. One of the young teams. Of course, the Swedes have had all kinds of trouble keeping teams together because they're losing so many players now to the National Hockey League, including, of course, their scoring champion from last year, Anders Kalur, who's playing very, very well for the New York Islanders this year. Up against the boards, Alexander Golikov, he clears it in, over skating it on the far side. Eriksson, he goes back now for it. There's behind the net, that's Sture Anderson. Now it's flipped out to center ice, right by everybody, because not enough will go back to touch it. And cleared around the boards. It's waved off on the icing. Alexander Golikov, and he took a high stick, and he is very unhappy with that. And he turned around and whacked Bengt Lundholm. And I think we're going to get the high. Well, they're both going off for high sticking, I would think.
Hooking is the call on the Swedish player. High sticking or slashing is the call from referee Haley on Golikov. There's the Swedish coach, Bengt Olsson from Leksand.
face-off. We'll see the action there. And there's the Swedish player, Bengt Lundholm. Inside the line now, Leif Holmgren. Battle for the puck. Now Jönsson comes up with it. There's to the far side. It's over the line. Making the check there is Vassiljev. Vassiljev back in the corner. Drops that puck off. Poked in behind the net. Krudov. Krudov coming out now. Krudov at center ice, working to the line. Krudov with Maltsev. Tried to feed it back to Maltsev. That back pass failed to work, and the Swedes come away 3-on-2, but Maltsev gets back in the play. Over the line, and that is intercepted and cleared out to the line, not out. As they had Maltsev breaking, here's the shot that's wide of the net. And Maltsev will pick it up and then leave it for Starikov. Starikov, number 12, he takes the shot. It's knocked down by Lindberg, and he falls on it as he saw a couple of Soviet attackers coming in on him and halts further play. 2:40 left in the first period. 3-0 Soviets leading.
The impressive thing about the Soviets today has been their puck control. Young Krutov, a member of their World Junior Championship team from Helsinki in January, now playing with the national team. The Soviets have had the possession of the puck for the majority of the game, really moving it well. It seems like they're coming back from their loss to the United States.
Valtin now behind his net. Valtin leaving it. Gets the return pass there from Söderström. In against the boards, Eriksson. Eriksson trying to get past Pervukin. Pervukin's got the puck now. Gives it to the side of the net. Ball is out in front. They score! And again, it's Petrov, and that line is struck again. Petrov from Harlamov this time. Another goal scored by the Soviets, who are just flying, especially this line. They lead 4-0.
Mikhailov is left all alone in front of the net. Look at him just come down the far side of your screen. He's all by himself. 2-on-1 situation in front of the net. Lindberg tries to stop the pass across. He knows he's there with his stick, but he's just a little, there he's, the stick goes out trying to stop it. But Mikhailov shoots it all in one motion from Harlamov. The Soviets go ahead 4-0.
There's Mikhailov. The score is 4-0. This is CTV Canada's Olympic Network. There's Boris Mikhailov, the veteran. Say so many things about him, and there's the play, the goal, the fourth goal.
All by himself in front of the net. In fact, he doesn't get all the wood on it that he wanted to when it comes across, but both Valtin and Lindberg not able to stop that pass across from Harlamov. An easy one for Mikhailov off the edge of the crease.
So the face-off, Slutov out there. The official scoring on that, Mikhailov from Harlamov and Pervukin. Came at 17:38. Now the Swedes coming out again. Valtin over to the far side. Digging in is Eriksson. Jan Eriksson circling the net. Right on top of him is Kazanov, and he winds up in the corner with that puck. Also in there is Fedisov. The puck is pinned in there and called for the face-off, as you see Håkan Eriksson. Both teams still playing a man short with 10 seconds remaining in the double penalty. From the face-off. There's the time remaining in the period. Cleared along past Slutov out to center ice. Down over the line. Valtin. Valtin banging it off the boards to the far side. They're taken by Jan Eriksson. Back to Valtin. Valtin to the boards on this side now for Håkan Eriksson. Eriksson back for Valtin. Valtin to center ice. Good playmaking defenseman, Valtin. He gets it to the far side. Eriksson just chops it into the Soviet zone. And at center ice now, it's Balderas. Balderas for Fedisov coming up. Fedisov winding up the shot. Deflected off Valtin, sticking right to Lindberg, who steered it into the corner. Now at center ice, taken by Kazanov over to this side. It's Fedisov. Fedisov is over the line. Fedisov working in deep. Flips it in front. They bat it out of the air, but they bat it wide, and that was again Balderas trying to get it by Lindberg. Now behind the net. Less than a minute remaining in the period. 4-0. Soviets are leading this one. And the Swedes try again. Weinstock at center ice, tried to get it down to the line. It came off a stick. He gets it again and just flips it in, bouncing in on Mishkin, and he leaves it to the side of the net. Along the boards, Fedisov clears it out to center ice. Jönsson. Jönsson coming right back again. Jönsson winding up the shot, and it's a blistering one. Mishkin then goes down to hold the rebound with 18 seconds remaining in the period, and we've got all kinds of pushing going on, and came close to seeing our first fight in these Olympic Games, as Lundqvist was right in there along with Balderas.
Lundqvist took a little exception. Fetisov was a little upset with Lundqvist trying to come and get that puck loose. After Michigan had held on to it, there's a little shoving in front of the net. Fetisov coming over, and the Swedish player Lundqvist, both of them going off, roughing on the play.
2 red. It's got a double minor for roughing. 4 minutes.
There you heard Bernie Haley. There's that good shot coming from center ice by Thomas Jonsson. He's owned by the New York Islanders, drafted 25th overall in the draft last summer. 21-year-old defenseman. Behind the net. Stopping back there is Starikov. 11 seconds left. Here's Starikov getting the return pass. Here's the rink-wide pass, and they had Makarov breaking on the play, but he just couldn't get it as it deflected off a stick. And there's the horn to sound the end of the first period of play. 4-0. The Soviets lead the hockey game.
All Soviet Union in the first period, leading 4-0 and having the puck the majority of the time. It was very seldom in the period that the Swedish team had the puck for any sustained length of time, and they didn't come to the attack. They let the Soviets bring the attack to them, and when you do that, that's fatal because they control the puck so well.
By the way, that was a double minor that was handed out to Fetisov. Now, that means that early on in the second, there are goaltenders Vladimir Myshkin, Pele Lindberg, and we're underway at the Soviet Union's leading this game 4-0. Puck is back in the Soviet zone. Vasilyev. Vasilyev leaving it for Petrov. He's around behind the net. This line has been busy all night. Here's Petrov at center ice, lugging the puck to the line. Now Petrov sweeping into the corner. Petrov still with that puck, rolls it into the slot, but it's cleared away by the Swede Söderström. And back out to center ice where Vasilyev will take it back in his own zone. Vasilyev. Over to the far boards, working out to center ice now. Vasilyev cutting to the line. Vasilyev trying to sweep all the way around. He gets the shot. He scores. And Vasilyev end to end to get that one on a backhand shot. Valery Vasilyev. And the Soviets lead it 5-0, 33 seconds into the period.
Lindberg again having trouble with the backhand shot. It may have touched his defenseman as Vasilyev swept around him, but that's the third backhand goal today against Lindberg. Sometimes you look for that puck to go high. Here he is sweeping around. It looks like it did touch the defender's stick as he was going down, but the innocent-looking backhand as Vasilyev went around the Swedish defenseman going into the net on Lindberg.
Well, it's the third goal that's been scored while the Petrov line has been on the ice, but a defenseman picks up this one, likely unassisted. I don't remember anybody giving him the puck inside the zone. Here's Maltsev at center ice. Maltsev coming away with that puck, clears it over the line. Breaking in is Lebedev. Lebedev working for the net, but taking the puck for Sweden is Bengt Lundholm. In the corner, leaving it there for Thomas Eriksson. Over to the side now, Anderson. Anderson behind the net for Lundholm. He clears it to the far side. Turning with it is Lars Molin. Molin on his way to the blue line to center ice. That lead pass. It goes all the way down to Myshkin, and he holds it for the face-off. The goal is unassisted at the 33-second mark. Valery Vasilyev making it 5-0. By the way, the leading scorer in this tournament, just to show how things are changing, Tom, Alexander Golikov has 13 points. Second is young Krutov with, well, now, not now, because Mihailov and Makarov have moved ahead of Krutov, but coming into the game, there's a three-way tie for second place, but Mihailov, Makarov with 11 points and Krutov with 10.
I'm sure they'd trade them all if they thought they were playing for the gold medal in this hockey game.
Exactly. The far boards. It's picked away now by Starikov. He clears it around the boards to this side. Forkas out and off. It's intercepted at the line. Here's Valtin with a shot. And that one was blocked at the goal mouth by Myshkin, and he shoots it down the ice. Down into the Swedish zone. Back to get it will be Valtin, and he picks it up. And it's called on the icing. Lundqvist on the bench. Played in Moscow last year. The first time he is. And Valtin. He's from Djurgårdens as well. That's the Stockholm team in the Swedish Elite League, and they are the champions, the defending champions. Also a defenseman who finished 5th in the scoring race last year, Tom. On the face-off against the boards, taken there by Bilya Letinov. Around behind the net to the far side. There it's Pervukhin. He shoots it down the ice, and no icing on this one. And the Soviets now playing at a manpower disadvantage. That's because of that penalty, the double penalty. It was called late in the period. Now out of center ice, the Swedes carrying the puck. Weinstock over the line. Holmgren getting set. He shoots, What a save by Mishkin as he picked that one out of the air. Mishkin.
Weinstock making a nice little pass, rushing up, having the man advantage, just putting that little backhand pass over the defender, breaking in all by himself. The good shot, Mishkin coming up with a glove save.
On the face-off now, cleared around the boards. Billy Littenoff relayed out over center ice by Balderas. Back to get it. Weinstock, number 4 for the Swedes. Weinstock dropping it off. Nearly left it for a Soviet player there. Now a long lead pass for Holmgren at center ice. Holmgren's over the line. Allberg put himself offside, and it'll be called for a face-off. There's Leif Holmgren. Don't forget the 1980 Olympic highlights on CTV tonight. We'll review the whole 13 days of Lake Placid. That's following the national news tonight on CTV. Moline getting the draw from the faceoff. 1:16 remaining in the power play advantage for Sweden. Over the line comes Eriksson. Eriksson is checked on the play. Starikov's got it. He shoots it out to center ice. It's dropped off. Anderson for Moline. Moline behind the net. He stops there. In for checking is Makarov. And the pass comes off the heel of a skate, rolls right to the goal mouth area, and Lindberg himself had to clear it into the corner. Anderson will try again. Makarov right in top there. Moline out to center ice and went right by Lundholm. And Vasiliev has got it. He shoots it over center ice and down into the Swedish zone, and Lindberg's out to leave it. Eriksson into the corner. At center ice, the lead pass, Söderström, but he's unable to get past the defense. And again, the Soviets, here's a chance now as over the line comes Golikov. He shoots and he shot it wide. Now in the corner, Swedes in possession. Lundholm, the far side, 19 seconds left of the power play. At center ice, it's dropped off. Over the line comes Söderström, tied up on the play. There was Lundholm, and a little slashing going on inside the blue line, and the referee didn't see that. I think it was Makarov who took a slash at Eriksson. Here's Waltin. The penalty has expired. Waltin at center ice, shooting it in. Digging in after it is Fedosov. He clears it along the boards. At the blue line, Eriksson. Eriksson in. Swinging away with that puck is Norberg. Norberg trying to find some skating room. Ends up behind the net. On top of him is Starikov. Norberg still with it. Norberg back towards the line, and finally it's taken away by Mihailov. He drops it back, and that's Vasiliev. Vasiliev to Starikov. Out at center ice, and here's Harlamov. Harlamov had it roll off his stick. Eriksson, he just stepped by Harlamov, turns, comes back out to center ice, shoots it in. It goes off the chest of Fedosov. The Swedes carry on. Vasiliev now gets it behind the net. Vasiliev. Harlamov. Harlamov clearing it down the ice. Petrov's digging after it. He goes in, tries to roll it in front. Here comes Harlamov. He overskated it, but coming in now on the backhand is Vasiliev. He circles into the corner. He is hauled down, and there'll be a penalty call to Sweden. And the Soviets will go on the power play. 5-0. Soviets lead. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. Allberg is off the ice on the penalty for hooking. Back inside the zone. The Soviets starting out now. It's Kazanov ahead for Petrov, and he's got all kinds of room with Mihailov moving up, and puck is flipped in front of the net, and Mihailov couldn't knock it down. Harlamov on the far boards. Harlamov poking away at it, so's Mihailov. Puck bounces to the line, kept in at the line, holding it there and doing a good job is Fedosov to Kazanov. Kazanov in now for Mihailov. Mihailov backing up to the boards. Out for Kazanov. Back to Mihailov. Mihailov swinging into the corner. Mihailov back behind the net for Harlamov. Harlamov back out to Mihailov. He flipped it over top of the net. Fedosov moves in after it on the far boards. Fedosov. Petrov back at the line. He drops it in for Harlamov. Harlamov circling away from the check. Harlamov goes down. Moving in is Fedosov. Petrov's got the puck back to Fedosov. Little wrestling going on. And the puck is cleared to the side of the net. Harlamov's lost his helmet. Puck is in the corner. Mihailov behind the net for Petrov. Petrov out in front, and fanning on it was Fedosov, who was in deep. And the Swedes finally clear it down the ice. Now to get it will be Fedosov from goaltender Mishkin. He turns with it, starts out. Fedosov at center ice. He can carry the puck over to the far side now. Puck is over the line. Digging in deep with it is Krutov. Back to the blue line. Fedosov to Kazatanov. In for Maltsev. Back to Kazatanov. Back to Maltsev. Maltsev working to the side of the net. Rolls it in front. Kazatanov can't reach it as it bounced off a leg out to center ice. And Kazatanov has got it. Over for Fedosov. 12 seconds left of the penalty. And the Swedes get it at center ice. A bouncing puck taken by Moline. Down to the line it comes. Lebedev can't reach it. And it's cleared out over center ice and down into the Soviet zone. And Kazatanov will go back to get it. The Swedes have successfully killed off the penalty. The puck is out at center ice for Maltsev. Good play as he got it away to Lebedev. Lebedev over to the line. He's tied up on the play. The puck is back out at center ice. And Kazatanov goes back into his own end for it. Kazatanov behind the net. Over to the far side. It's relayed out to center ice for Lebedev. Lebedev over for Krutov. Over the line for Lebedev. Lebedev had to go back for it. The Soviets changing on the fly with the puck right in front of their bench. Pervukin clearing it ahead. Krutov's over the line. He's all alone. He gets it. Oh, what a goal as it was flipped ahead right on the line. And Krutov just got in there and then played around with it until he could steer it into the goal mouth.
Well, I think he's trying to put on a little bit of a show there. It seemed like there's nothing to this game, is there? But Krutov, here's the tip, which puts him on side. It just comes over the line. Krutov all by himself. He knows once he's beat the sprawling Lindbergh, he has no problem. Just takes his time, touches it over the line. Well, we don't want to hurry that shot because I knew it was going to be in the net anyway.
6-0. The Soviets leading Sweden. By all appearances, the Soviets will have the silver medal. As over the line now comes Balderas. Balderas getting set now, circles behind the net. Balderas trying to hook it away. Puck is cleared into the corner, but the Soviets prevail. Into the corner they go. Swooping with it is Sportsov. Sportsov out to the blue line now. Stick handling along the line is Bilyaletdinov. Working it in for Shluktov. Shluktov had it hop off his stick. Bilyaletdinov now forced out over the blue line on the checking of Eriksson. Now Balderas. He's in over the line. He can't get the puck past Norberg. Balderas back to the blue line. Quick shot comes in. That was blocked by Sportsov himself in front of the net, and it ends up back down in the Soviet zone. Bilyaletdinov to Shluktov. Shluktov back to Bilyaletdinov at center ice. Ahead to Balderas. Balderas over the line, circles back, drops it off, flipped in there, scores, deflected in front of the net. I believe that will be Sportsov's goal, or Shluktov in front of the net. Sportsov, I believe.
Sportsov tapped that puck down in the long shot from the point. Balderas controlling it, throwing it to the point. The puck comes through, and you just see Sportsov just off the edge of the crease deflecting the puck home. You know, and you can't help but feeling the Soviets are ahead 7-0, but boys, you're doing it a little too late. A little too late. You can act, you can score, you can get 10 here, but it's not going to make any difference. The United States has that gold medal.
8:14, the time of that goal. We'll catch up on the scoring in a moment. Naishlin breaking in over the line, but he's bumped off the puck there by Vasiliev behind the net. Vasiliev kicking it free, and we'll have a penalty called here as Starikov brought it out over the line. But Bernie Haley, the referee from Canada, has called a penalty for holding, and it'll be called against Valery Vasiliev. Vasiliev got the goal to start this period at 33 seconds. Krutov from Pervukin at 7:18. And then it is Sportsov scoring from Balderas and Pervukin. And that goal came at the 8-minute mark. Puck is cleared down the ice. The Soviets killing off a penalty now for holding. The penalty called on Vasiliev. Behind their own net, it is left there for Mats Naishlin, who is on the list of the Montreal Canadiens drafted last year. Now Alberg. Alberg can't get out. Alberg then skated right by it. And the Swedes with Weinstock carrying the puck. He hits the line, drops it off. Naishlin taking a shot. It's well wide of the net. Goes to the far boards. Holmgren. Holmgren can't control it. Out over center ice it comes again. And Weinstock will have to go back into his own end. Weinstock, as we near the midway point of the game. Weinstock carrying the puck himself to center ice, beats it off the boards, but the puck is immediately wheeled right back down the ice by the Soviets. And again, Weinstock will try. Weinstock, number 4 for Sweden. Beats it off the far boards, past Jonsson. In deep is Fedosov. He takes a rough ride from Jonsson along the boards. Weinstock can't contain it, and it's all the way down into Swedish territory again. Molin back there, number 23. He just dropped it off for Bengt Lundholm. Lundholm to Molin at center ice. Stick handling with that puck ahead for Lundqvist. He just popped it over to the far side. Lundqvist trailing on the play, gets the puck, gets it in over the line, but he is checked there by Alexander Golikov and is cleared around the boards. Here's Molin. Molin over to the far side, taken by Eriksson. In front for Molin, he's shot, and it's right on. He had a great chance on that one. 23 seconds left in the power play. In the corner, Lundholm. Around behind the net for Fetisov. Fetisov out to center ice. Molin knocked that one down, and he shoots it right back in again. 12 seconds left in the penalty as Fetisov gets it again. Feeds it rink wide. On this side, Kazatonov banging it off the boards at center ice for Anderson. Storya Anderson right back in over the line. And it goes off his leg twice. Gets in front of the net. They steer it right through the goal mouth area, but Söderström couldn't convert it. Now the penalty has ended. The puck is out at center ice off the stick of Golikov. Now trailing on the play is Vasiliev. He comes over the line. Puck rolls the goal mouth area, and it's loose there, taken finally by Eriksson. He can't control it, has to go against the boards after it. Petrov is in there as well, and behind the net. For Sweden, it's Söderström. Out to center ice, working to the line. It is Eriksson. Eriksson out in front of the net, but it's intercepted. And here's that lead pass taken by Harlamov. Now Mihailov. Mihailov over the line, stops up against the boards, feeds it back. Fetisov. Fetisov working with Kasatonov along the blue line. He circles the defense, goes in deep. Cleared in against the boards. After it is Hakan Eriksson, and it's cleared down the ice. And Kasatonov will go back to touch it. And it's called on the icing. 8:25 remaining in the second period. The Soviets leading by a score of 7-0. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. Right off the face-off, the puck is cleared down the ice. We're going to get another icing call here as Pervukhin comes back to touch it. Number 5 for the Soviets, and the face-off will come down in Swedish territory.
You know, Ron, I can't help but thinking that there must have been a lot of pressure on the Soviet team coming in here. I don't know. They seem to be too experienced a team to be upset by the crowd. But the game against the United States, when they lost the hockey game, they were very, very tight. Today, when they're so loose, there's nothing really at stake except the silver medal, which they've got in their back pocket. They wanted the gold. They're flying today.
Puck is cleared along the boards. Petrov can't keep it in as Alberg gets it out at center ice now. Molin down over the line. He's unable to get loose. That's Johnson, number 2. And the Soviets come right back. Ahead for Petrov from Harlamov. Petrov heading for the corner. Out in front of that net is Harlamov. Out for Billy Litvinov, and the puck is steered away and down the ice into Soviet territory. Pervukhin will come back to touch it. Cleared around behind the net. Billy Litvinov on the far side. Billy Litvinov ahead, right past Krutov. He gets it himself, drops it over the line. Lebedev, a back pass there for Billy Litvinov. He's turned around on the play. Lebedev in front. Here's a chance now. Krutov gets set. The shot is flipped wide by Mihailov. Now the Swedes on their way out of the zone again. Naisland at center ice, shooting it in. It bounces wide of the Soviet goal. Billy Litvinov is after it. He feeds along the boards for Krutov. Krutov ahead for Lebedev. Lebedev back for Krutov to Lebedev. Lebedev has checked at the blue line, and Billy Litvinov has to skate back with it. Now for Maltsev. Maltsev ahead, over the line. Lebedev putting it into the slot area. Nobody there that can contain that puck, and Krutov gets it over the line. Now is Lundholm. Lundholm in against the boards. Try to get it back, gets the puck again, back to the blue line for Eriksson. Eriksson shot, and it drifts wide of the net. In against the boards on this side now. Anderson steering it out to center ice, and it's called on a 2-line pass, and we'll have the face-off. Don't forget, on CTV live, right from the Olympic Fieldhouse, the closing ceremonies of the 1980 Winter Olympic Games from Lake Placid, New York. That's live, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Face-off will be about 15 feet inside the blue line of the Soviets. And it is Shlukov who gets the draw. Skvortsov in the corner. Over to the far side. Relayed off the boards by Starikov all the way down the ice. Balderas is in there, but it's Valtin who takes it. Valtin starting out over to the far side. Eriksson shooting it in. Back to get it is Starikov, and as he touches it, icing again, and the face-off again in the Swedish zone with 6:12 left in the second period. 7-0. Soviets are leading. That is not a happy Swedish bench.
No, you can't blame them. They're down. They're trying to take a little nourishment on that bench, try to collect something, trying to get a goal or two, make it a little more respectable here, but down 7-0 with still 6:12 remaining is not very encouraging to the Swedish team.
By the way, Pervukin, the defenseman, there's a shot. It's blocked. That's taken by Balderas. Pervukin, the defenseman, has 4 assists in this game. Cleared down the ice. We'll review the scoring quickly, perhaps in the next whistle or two. Puck behind the net, and it's touched on the icing, so it'll come back down into the Swedish end again. 5:57 left in the period. 7-0 Soviets. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. Here over the line now come the Soviets. It's Balderas going in there. The puck is shot wide of the net, is breaking in with Sfortsov, and the Swedes will come right back. Out at center ice it comes. Allberg over the line. Gets by the defense. Clears it to an open wing. Moving in is Weinstock. He winds up. He's got that good shot, but it was blocked at the defense by Sfortsov. Now beside the net. Cleared into the corner. Naisland digging after it. Also Vasiliev in there. He takes a shove at Naisland, who's a small fella. And it winds up with the puck. Now it's slipped off over for Balderas, dropping it there. Now comes Sfortsov back. Slipped off, and he scores, and it's 8-0.
What can you say? They've just controlled the puck from beginning to end. It's as much like saying, boys, you shouldn't have challenged us before. A super play at this point. Shlukov makes the original pass. Balderas throws it back to Sfortsov. Watch all in one motion. Doesn't even wait for the puck, you know, to line it up. He shot all in one motion, just under the bar, inside. The shot couldn't have been better. No wasted motion in the net. The Soviets go ahead 8-0.
When is it going to stop? It's going to look like Japan all over again. That's the whole line doing it there. It's from the face-off now. It is cleared ahead. Kazatanov down at the line goes Alexander Golikov in the corner now. Cleared away, kept inside the zone. Here's Fedosov. Shot, he scores on the backhand. And it is 9-0. Fedosov getting in deep. He's been doing it all game, something I didn't see too much of it in other games, but he is roaming inside the zone from the point. And take a look at this.
Makarov doing the hustling, but the blind pass being thrown at this point. Fedosov moving in, moves to his backhand, and I believe that's the 5th backhand goal that's been scored today on Lindbergh. The Soviets haven't forgotten about their backhands, as a lot of other hockey players have. A lot of players want to take it to their forehand.
Now from the face-off, Golikov falls as he hits the line, but the puck is cleared out to center ice. Kazatanov over for Fedosov. Fedosov ahead off the boards. Makarov inside the line, trying to roll it in front, and the Swedes come right back. At center ice, it's Moline. Moline to the line, trying to work it through. Makarov then clears it away to center ice. Now it's Golikov. Golikov getting around a check, put it right onto the stick there of Anderson. Still inside the zone. Fedosov gulps one in there, and it's wide of the net. Now Lundholm. Lundholm ahead for Moline. Moline's over the line. Moline going to his backhand, drops it back. There's the shot. It's blocked at the defense. The sliding was Fedosov on the play, and it's center ice now. Off the stick of Golikov. That's Vladimir Golikov. Out over the blue line to center ice, Kazatanov. A rink-wide pass, and picking it up is Alexander Golikov. Golikov losing it. To Weinstock, is thrown away right in front of the net. The shot is fired over top of the net by Makarov. Now Makarov in against the boards. Makarov trying to get it to the line. Still with that puck, and it's poked out to center ice. And coming back for it will be Kazatanov. He feeds it off to Fedosov on the far boards. Ahead. And now it's Petrov. He can't control it. Puck is over the line, but Petrov again gets it as the defense covers up. Now, still inside the blue line, but having trouble and finally recovering is Kazatanov out of center ice for Petrov. Petrov dropping it off. Makarov unable to control it. Harlamov's got it now inside his own end. Fedosov. Fedosov out to Petrov. Petrov fed it right by Mihailov. Harlamov's got it. Harlamov. Harlamov beating it back. Kazatanov back inside his own end. Passed dangerously in front of his own net past Håkan Nielsen. Puck is out at center ice. Mihailov can't knock down that pass. Norberg cutting back inside his own blue line. He drops it back. Now it's Valtin. Valtin to center ice. Still with the puck as he hits the line. Valtin with a shot, and it's wide of the net. Norberg in deep. He circles the net. Norberg cutting out in front. It's taken by Petrov, and he flips it out to center ice where Weinstock gets it again. He comes to the line. He's checked on the play. Now trying to get in is Alberg. That is taken away by Fedosov. Here's the race for the puck at center ice with Mihailov. He can't reach it. The puck is outside the blue line. And starting right back is Holmgren. Holmgren being checked from behind by Petrov and is called on the offside with 2:34 left in the period. And 9-0 is the score for the Soviets. They are on their way to the silver medal here. Of course, the United States has won the gold medal. Don't forget, tonight we will have figure skating exhibition, 7 o'clock Eastern time on CTV. This is always a fun event as the champions of the 1980 Olympics show their skills under the non-pressure atmosphere, just having fun. Always one of the nicest shows in the Olympics. Puck is jammed in against the boards and held in the Soviet zone.
You wonder about the non-pressure atmosphere that we have here in the hockey game. The Soviets ahead 9-0. You wonder how much the Sweden being really down in the hockey game. But you'd think, you know, they'd want to win the silver medal. The Soviets, no pressure on them. The gold, they're flying here today, but boys, a little too late.
From the face-off, it's behind the net. Cleared over to this side. Taken by Bilyaletdinov. He clears it right in front of the net. It's set for Weinstock, and he hung on to it just too long. And the puck is cleared away. Now still inside the zone. Weinstock in deep there, but the pass was intercepted by Pervukin on the far side. He gets it out the blue line, not out Johnson. Johnson winding up his shot at the post. And the puck bounces into the corner. Now out in front of the net, Weinstock. Weinstock just wheeling it in there and skating right by that pass was Alberg. Alberg poking away at it against the boards. Now it's chopped in behind the net. And taking it for the Soviet Union is Lebedev. Lebedev out at center ice for Maltsev. Maltsev over the line. Maltsev swinging away from the check. Good play. Rolls it out in front. Now behind the net, they try to jam it. It's rolled up to the blue line. Moving in there and backhanding it in is Bilyaletdinov, but the Swedes just clear it down the ice, and we'll have an icing call here as Bilyaletdinov and now Pervukin go back. Pervukin touches it. It'll be back inside the Swedish end with 1:17 left in the second period.
Well, ahead 9-0. Alexander Maltsev, the shot from the point that hits the post. Here's the shot coming through, and that's as close as Sweden has come all day. The puck hits the post and comes back out. But Maltsev just joshing now. He's like Cyclone Taylor. Looked like he wanted to try to score a goal going backwards at that point, being ahead 9-0. But they're just playing now and having fun.
From the face-off, the Swedes coming to center ice. Will they get a goal in this game? That becomes a question. There's the shot. It trips by Mushkin and to the far boards now. After it is Lundholm. Comes out near the blue line. There Eriksson has it. Lundholm against the boards. He's being held in there. They kick away at it. Finally, it's Schluptov who gets it out to center ice. Back now for Moline, number 23. He's over the line. He flips it in. A bouncing puck scooped up off the ice by Mushkin. Fed into the corner. Now out to center ice. Taken for the Soviets by Starikov. Over the line for Balderas. In deep. That's Eriksson. Eriksson being checked on the play. Balderas behind the net. Skvortsov is in there as well. They'll pin it in with 30 seconds left and try and hold it. Now it's poked free. Back into the crowd again. After it there is Eriksson. Comes out loose. Now out to the point. There's Vasiliev, number 6. His shot's right on. Juggled by Lindberg, and he holds on for the face-off. 18 seconds left. During our second intermission, we're going to be speaking with Brian O'Neill, the Executive Vice President of the National Hockey League. Bill Inco will have a feature on the Olympics and what they will mean to the village of Lake Placid. And, of course, we'll have second period highlights, which means another, how many goals? 5 goals of the Soviet Union. Bernie Pascal will have those for us. 9-0, the score. From the face-off, down over the line comes Norberg. Norberg going into the corner. On him is Starikov. Norberg now out in front, the quick shot, and that's blocked by Schluptov. Now out at center ice, Balderas takes that one going backwards. He's over the line. Here's the shot, and it trips over top of the net just as the horn sounds to end the second period. And it now becomes a question of just how many will the Soviets get.
Soviets completely dominating the period. They have the puck
for about a year. He plays in the neighborhood of 80 to 90 games a year. In his own team, he has played all but 2 games this year. That's for the Central Red Army in regular league play, plus all of their international endeavors, which includes the Rudy Bravo and the games against in the Izvestia tournament. But play's underway here, a 9-0 hockey game. The question we have to ask ourselves is, can Sweden get a goal? Tomas Jonsson out to center ice, beats it ahead. That is Mats Alberg over the line, but Fetisov is in, and he falls. Here's a chance for Alberg. He rolls it out in front, but it comes all the way back to Jonsson. Jonsson moving in. Trying to get in front of that net now, doing a good job of it, too, but he's finally hauled down, and there will be a penalty to Vladimir Petrov. So Petrov will be going off. A reminder that tonight, following the national news, the 1980 Olympic highlights. That's the full 13 days of competition here in Lake Placid. All of our reporters will be on hand for this final show. We'll try to bring you all of the highlights, the many highlights that there have been in this competition. Canada's medal performances. That's tonight following the national news on CTV. The power play from the face-off. Back to the blue line. This is ball team number 9 winding up the shot just wide of the net. Behind the net now. It's poked into the corner, moved along the board. Ball team just pokes it down behind the net. Taking it there is Söderström. Söderström behind the net. Now working for it is Eriksson. Håkan Eriksson behind the net again. And now for the Soviets, it is Starikov. Out to center ice. It's dropped back to the blue line. Jan Eriksson for Valtin. Valtin being forced way back in his own zone by Maltsev. Now Valtin, the rangy hockey player, shoots it out over center ice. Söderström's over the line. Söderström trying to get it over to the left wing. It's intercepted by Maltsev. Maltsev to Krutov. Krutov over the line. Trying to get it in front of the net. He's knocked down. Nearly hooked it into an open net there as he was cutting through the slot. Behind the net. For Sweden, it is Norberg. Norberg at center ice. To the line, Norberg. The Candling drops it off. They try to flip it out. Krutov goes down. No penalty on that as Krutov was trying to break out with the puck that was intercepted. Now Anderson. Stode Anderson. Over the line. Eriksson. Into the corner. Anderson coming in as well. Puck hops high in the air. Moline traps it at the blue line. Wrists it in towards the goal. And it is taken for the Soviets by Starikov. Now it's Eriksson. Eriksson winding up, and that shot is blocked by Starikov. Hops high in the air. Everybody's lost sight of it. Where'd it go? In the rafters?
Into the stands and the fans after. You were mentioning about Tretiak playing so much. One of the things that people feel internationally, they feel that the Soviets haven't developed the number of goaltenders that they have the other players. You know, a Makarov comes out of nowhere. Krutov, Kazatnov, Fetisov, all young hockey players. You wonder where they all come from, but you never see anybody play in these tournaments except Tretiak and Mishkin, and you wonder how many good goaltenders they have in the Soviet Union in comparison with their other skaters.
26 seconds left of the power play. Now is turning and coming to center ice is Moline. He stops up at center ice, drops the puck off, comes over the line. Shooting it in there is Lundholm in the corner. Backhanded around the net. Pervukin. They jam it in there, and it'll be held with 12 seconds left in the power play by Pervukin inside the Soviet zone. Pervukin from Moscow Dynamo. He's won a couple of Olympic golds from the national team since 1976. It was the last Olympic year, of course. So in to take the draw now will be Leif Holmgren. In the face-off, it's back behind the net. Pervukin off the boards, but it's intercepted. Alberg looking for a man, gets it to Johnson. Johnson winding out, but the shot is off the stick glove of goaltender Mishkin. Back along the boards now. Coming to center ice is Skvortsov. Skvortsov getting it to the line. Now they come in. There's a player tripped up. Slutov can't control it. The Swedes coming right back out again. And getting it is Skvortsov again. Ilya Letunov overskates it. Back inside the zone. Skvortsov again. Skvortsov over to this side. Taken by Vasilyev. Out to center ice. That's off a stick. Now Naslund turning. He's got some speed. Comes to the line, and his shot is off the leg of Ilya Letunov and drifts wide of the net. Cleared around the boards on the far side. Taken by Skvortsov. Now it's Makarov. Now Slutov. Slutov trying to work his way free. It's stopped by the defense. And turning back is Weinstock. There's Soderstrom. Over the line, he stopped. Here we come again. Makarov to Balderas. Balderas working to his backhand. And he is upended. And out at center ice trying to stick handle and unable to control it was Norberg. But here comes Thomas Jonsson. He's got that shot. It's just wide of the net off a stick. Ends up in the corner. Cleared into the corner on this side. Norberg. But the Soviets have got it. Out of center ice comes Golikov. Golikov to the line. Back to Balderas. And there's the shot. Good save there by Lindberg on a good play. Back they come again. Over the line, cleared in front of the net. And the Soviets again wheel away with it. Balderas. Balderas just stick handling. Tried to get over the line. He stopped Golikov. Golikov dropping it back. Gazanov in front of his own net. Being forechecked by Håkan Eriksson. Out at center ice, Waltin comes right back in again. Waltin getting set in front of the net. He shoots! And he's just wide on the far side. Now, out at center ice, it's Lundholm. Lundholm dropping it back. Again, Sweden trying to get out. Molin now has it. Molin over for Lundqvist. Lundqvist falls and slides right into the referee, Bernie Haley. And that's a little dangerous with the skates up. But everybody's all right. The face-off will come in the center ice area as you look at Pelle Lindberg, who will be on his way, I imagine, next season to the Philadelphia Flyers.
Well, Lindberg makes the stop, and he's had lots of work today. The backhand's giving him quite a bit of trouble. Mishkin having to make a good save on Waltin, who broke in, the captain of Sweden, trying to put Sweden on the scoreboard, get some respectability here in the third period.
A reminder to stay tuned for CTV. Full coverage of the Olympics continuing right through to the time following the national news. But we'll be staying on the air after this game for the medal presentations for the bobsledders and, of course, that gold medal to the U.S. hockey team. Back inside the blue line, Vasiliev. Vasiliev circling back, working with Starikov on defense. Petrov's out now. Petrov and against the board. The puck is cleared down the ice. Molin will go back for it. Number 23, Molin, back to touch it. No icing on the play. Mihailov trying to feed Harlamov there. Puck goes against the boards. Petrov jamming it in, rolls it into the corner. Mihailov. Now behind the net is Eriksson. Eriksson starting out to center ice. Here's Molin. Over to the far side, digging in. There's Lundholm. He's behind the net. Molin now. He tried to get it out in front. It comes to Harlamov. He overskated it. Jam in against the boards. And it's now Alberg. Alberg trying to get a rink-wide pass. That's intercepted by Petrov. Harlamov trying to get out. He was checked by Alberg, lost his balance, and Jonsson covers up. Behind the net, Jonsson. Jonsson to the far side. Cleared out to center ice. This will go all the way down the ice. No icing. They say that Vasiliev just did not make any effort to touch that one, so play will go on. They're just playing this one out. Puck is inside the zone. There's a chance for Sweden out in front of the net on the short side, and Holmgren has a good chance, but he just got it up on the chest of Mushkin. Now it's down into the Swedish zone. Back to get it will be Weinstock. He touches it. It's called on the icing. Face-off in the Soviet end. 9-0 Soviet. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. So the face-off will be to the right of the Soviet goal. Take the draw for Sweden. Håkan Eriksson. He gets the draw. Now taken by Söderström. He's unable to control it. Comes out to center ice. Maltsev trying to feed Trudov on the wing. But the Swedes cover up once again. Now it is Eriksson. Eriksson along the boards, goes off Lebedev's stick. He has to chase it down on the wing, but also there is Eriksson, Jan Eriksson. He clears it into Soviet territory. Bilyaletdinov behind his net. Clears it into the corner, taken there by Eriksson. Håkan Eriksson trying to get in front, trying to push it through there. Finally ends up on the stick of Pervulkin. Pervulkin behind the net on this side now. Bilyaletdinov at center ice, knocked down by Waltin. He throws it to the far wing. Over the line, there comes Eriksson. He stopped, and here come the Soviets once again. It's over the line. Maltsev going into the slot. Cuts behind the net now. He's got Lebedev out in front. Rolls it out to the blue line. There's the shot, and it bounces wide as Lebedev deflected it. Now cleared around the boards, and Billy Lentinoff was way in on the play. Icing will be the call here again as we get Pervokin touching it, and the face-off back in Swedish territory.
Well, again, we saw Maltsev trying his little spinorama. I think he's trying to just prove something today. You know, the story goes that in early Canadian hockey, that Cyclone Taylor scored a goal moving backwards. Well, he's trying to perfect the move, and we've watched him in practice here try it. He moves to the defense. He does a complete spinorama with the puck, and as he's turning around and moving backwards, he just backhands the puck all in one motion. And he's trying that now late in the hockey game with the score 9-0.
And trying to get out of his own end and finally getting the puck out is Thomas Eriksson. It's cleared into Soviet territory. Behind the net for the Swedes, it's Anderson getting it to the boards on this side for Lundqvist. His shot is right on. Anderson right there, but he couldn't deflect it. Now Anderson again against the boards at the blue line for Eriksson. And it's knocked down by Slutov out at center ice ahead for Kazanov. Kazanov over the line along with Slutov, who digs in the corner after it. On top of him is Eriksson. Puck comes out in front. Sportsov working past Eriksson behind the net. Anderson clearing it around. Picking it off there is Lundholm. He gets it out to center ice. Back for the Soviets. Kazanov also in there is Fedosov. Fedosov comes away with a puck ahead for Balderas, and it was off his stick and down into Swedish territory. Weinstock back to get it. Weinstock behind his net. Weinstock at center ice, that long lead pass. Alberg over the line. Efalls gets the pass away, but it went off a stick out to center ice, and Naslund turns. Naslund shooting it in. Blocked easily at the goal by Mushkin. High in the air it comes. Fedosov's got it. Fedosov from behind his own net, starting out. Balderas flying at center ice. That crisscrossing motion at center ice as Fedosov circles back now. Over to the far side. Taken there by Skvortsov. Back on this side. Fedosov as the Soviets just play with the puck. Fedosov, the stick handling, putting on a little demonstration. Now decides to put it out to center ice for Makarov. He's stopped by Weinstock. Puck comes loose. Now down over the line for the Swedes is Naslund. Naslund cutting front of the net. And the puck is dropped back. Here's the chance for the Swedes in front. They shoot, they score! As Alberg got that pass and put it in. And the shutout is broken. The Swedes have scored, and it draws a roar from the crowd here.
The crowd so far have been sitting on their hands since the United States won the gold medal, but the drop pass, keeping the puck in at the point. Alberg moving here with a quick shot to Mishkin's glove hand. He gets a piece of it, it hits the crossbar, and then drops down behind him. But Sweden is now on the scoreboard with their first goal. There's the glove on it, hits the crossbar, drops right down into the corner of the net.
Mats Alberg, 33-year-old forward from Leksand, Sweden. This is his sixth, well, he's been 6 times to the World Hockey Tournament, starting back in 1973. Now sliding hard into the boards. That was Norberg inside the blue line. The Soviets were playing around with the puck in their own end. That's offside. And finally something was going to happen. They have just quit really doing anything except playing around. It's like shinny out there right now.
Well, I feel, you know, being in the coaching business, you feel sorry for Tommy Sandlin, the coach of the Swedish national team. Your team is down 9-0 at the end of 2 periods. I mean, what do you say to it? And about the only thing you can say to the hockey club is, hey, let's try to win 1 period in the game. And Sweden is winning this period so far 1-0 after losing the first 2, 9-0.
Over the line comes Norberg into his own zone. Drops the puck off. Now Valtin out at center ice. Moving up is Eriksson. Håkan Eriksson over the line now. Eriksson rolling it in front, and it's taken away from the goal mouth area by Vasiliev. Now the Soviets out at center ice. Down over the line. It is Golikov. Golikov stops up in the corner. Alexander Golikov finding a man in the slot, and Vasiliev was breaking in there. And now the Swedes have got the puck. Alberg from Lundqvist and Holmgren at 9:17. That's the goal as Waltin gets it in front of his net, clears it out to center ice. Flipped ahead now. The Swedes come in. Lundqvist gets the shot. It's gloved by Mushkin. He hangs on for the faceoff. 9-1 the score. The Soviets leading with 9:27 left in the hockey game.
And the goal seems to have given Sweden a little bit of a lift here. They're beginning to carry the play a little more. We see Mishkin ducking, trying to see that first shot coming through. There's the shot, goal, just getting under the crossbar. Mishkin gets a piece of it. First Swedish goal.
Mushkin has had it pretty easy so far tonight. And Lindbergh has been shelled. Face-off, they'll do that one again. There's Vladimir Petrov. 1973 at a World Tournament, he scored 18 goals in 10 games at that tournament. Wonder how many of them are against Japan. Puck fired off the board. Soviets beat Japan in this tournament 16-0. Could have been 30-0, I thought. Banged off the boards out to center ice. Petrov's got the puck. Petrov feeding now. A good pass to Mikhailov, who's busting in, and it rolls right to the goal mouth. Doing a good defensive job there was Molin, and it's out at center ice once again. Now back into the Swedish zone. Eriksson over to the far side. Molin working to center ice. Molin shooting it in. And behind the Soviet net, taken by Pervukin. Pervukin, Harlamov, Pervukin again. Pervukin leading the rush at center ice. Pervukin busting down on the left side, makes the shot, now tries to sweep the defense. He's got men out front, and he rolled it in as Mikhailov was looking for his second goal of the game. There's Tretiak on the bench.
Pervukin moving right in. Again, the defenseman for the Soviets, taking all kinds of chances, lugging the puck out. When he moved out behind the net, he threw it back from the same side he was going in. They don't like to go around the net and throw it from the far side. They like to throw it, catch the goaltender moving to the far side.
The back of Tomas Jonsson, drafted by the Islanders. We see a little bit of him. They already have Anders Kalur. Here's a shot cleared away from the goal mouth area by Weinstock. On the far boards, Weinstock after it. Players go down. Puck is loose. Weinstock comes away with it. Puts it out on the boards. It's batted out to center ice. Trying to hook it around, and does Holmgren now. He goes into the corner. Holmgren still with that puck. Being checked as he's ridden in against the boards by Kazatonov. And finally, it's taken by Lebedev. Lebedev to Maltsev. Maltsev at center ice. This is a 2-on-1 with Krutov. Maltsev over the line, feeds it through. Krutov was in too deep. Coming across to get it is Lebedev. We may have a roughing penalty being called here. And Krutov, I don't think, knows what the heck is going on. In any case, 8:02 left, 9-1 Soviets. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. Soviets playing a man short here. Roughing penalty to Krutov. He's in. The puck is along the boards. There's Slutov. The big fella ducks away from a check, even though they were short-handed the way they're playing right now. Behind the net now. Slutov still with that puck. That big long reach of his. Hard to check. Still has the puck. Trying to muscle it in against the boards, and finally Håkan Eriksson gets it, takes it around the net, comes to center ice with it. Eriksson to the line. Eriksson still with that puck, drops it off for Soderstrom, and it winds up back at center ice. Waltin over for Norberg. 7:22 left in the hockey game. At center ice, stick handling down to the line is Norberg. Norberg still with the puck. He goes down on the play against Slutov. And it's Vasiliev. Vasiliev just leisurely sliding it across the ice. Now back to Vasiliev. Vasiliev slides it out to center ice. And back down into the Swedish zone. Now the Swedes will come away now. It's Lundholm with it. Lundholm out to the blue line to center ice. That's Eriksson. Eriksson in over the line. His shot is wide of the net. Comes off the dasher behind the net. Down goes Lundholm as he was going in. He's all right. The Soviets start away. Vasiliev against the boards. He's checked there by Lundholm. Out in front and batting on it was Lundqvist. It rolls out in front of the net, but saving that particular effort was Starikov. Starikov over for Slutov. Slutov back in for Vasiliev. Vasiliev ahead for Starikov, who just deflects it over center ice. And it's Eriksson. Eriksson to Molin. Molin ahead to the line now for Lundqvist. He comes into the corner. Lundqvist out to the blue line. Molin back into the corner for Lundholm. And that pass is intercepted by Slutov, and Slutov's at center ice. Slutov over against the boards. Backboard is Anderson. A rink-wide pass. The Swedes changing on the go. The penalty has expired. And out over center ice now, the Swedes. That's Naisland, but he can't get through. The puck is cleared into the Soviet zone. And back to get it is Starikov. Starikov. He's checked. Puck comes right in front of the net. There's the shot, a rebound, and they score. It was stopped and then seemed to hop over. Goaltender Mushkin. And the Swedes are on the board for their second goal.
Sweden coming back, getting some measure of revenge here late in the third period. The first shot blocked, continuing on. Mishkin can't seem to kill the puck. There's the second opportunity coming. The puck hopping over top of him and into the corner of the net. Another look at it. The first shot coming. He stops the first one, goes down, but doesn't know where that puck is. Then there's a little bit of the play coming in late. Alberg just putting that puck over top.
Puck is cleared down. Holmgren got the goal. At 14:21, the assist going to Naisland. And it is 9-2 now with 5:21 remaining in the game. Lindberg out of the net. Naisland kicking it along the boards. Soviets in forechecking. Cleared into the corner. There it's Johnson. Johnson out to center ice for Naisland over the far boards and off the boards and into the Soviet zone past Alberg. And it's called on the icing. And a face-off down in the Swedish end of the ice with 5:07 left. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. From the face-off, chasing the puck down inside the zone is Eriksson. Puck is cleared around the boards, and the Soviets will come out to center ice with it. Makarov ahead to Golikov. Golikov over the line. He goes down. Puck winds up in the corner. Makarov after it. Behind the net. Checking there is Soderstrom, number 21, but it's Alexander Golikov who gets it. Golikov beating it over to the far side. Players go down on the play. Eriksson gets it. Eriksson beating it back into the corner. Makarov's in there as well. And the puck is flipped out to center ice with 4:23 left in the game. Now turning, coming in over the line. Alexander Golikov with lots of room. He shoots. Oh, good save there by Lindberg, but he actually shot after the second move, the second unnecessary move. I think the Soviets feel they have enough. There's a shot. It's gloved by Mushkin, and he holds on. We'll have a face-off in the Soviet end.
Sweden getting caught in the middle of a change. Golikov jumping on top of the puck. Moving inside, getting the opportunity. Made the move to the outside, then came back to the inside. We see the puck just rolling wide of the net on Lindberg, but a good move by Golikov. A very alert move, jumping in when Sweden get caught. Everybody over at their bench in the middle of the change.
9-2 the score. The Soviets leading. Perbukin, the top scorer, the defenseman. He has 4 assists in this game.
Well, we tried to get our cameraman there, was putting a face mask over top of the camera at the end, tried to give our fans a look at what the goaltender sees from behind that mask.
Out at center ice now. Here is Mihailov. Mihailov along with Petrov. Mihailov to Petrov, and he fanned on it. The loose puck is picked up, thrown into the slot, but tipped away and out to center ice. Back with it now. Harlamov, number 17. Over to the far side. Now cleared into the Soviet zone. Vasiliev around to the far boards. Kazanov let it go by. The shot rips in from the point. And Fedosov has got it. Not Fedosov, but Petrov. Petrov clearing it up to the blue line again. Anderson with a shot, and he's wide with it. Now cleared wide of the net again, out to the blue line to center ice and all the way down into the Swedish zone. Back to get it is Eriksson. Eriksson golfs it to the blue line, not out, kept in by Kazanov, rolled in front of the net and hoisted up into the air and down the ice by the Swedish defense. And they'll go for a change as way out of his net there is Mushkin. He holds it himself in the corner. We'll get a face-off in his own end of the ice with 3:13 left. The closing ceremonies tonight, live on CTV. The colorful closing ceremonies from the Olympic Fieldhouse here. It's always an emotional moment. 9:30 tonight, Eastern Time, live across the CTV network. Maltsev on the far boards, behind the net. Taken by Vasiliev. Now over for Starikov. Starikov out of center ice. It's off a skate. Naisland couldn't control it. Jonsson back at his own end. Over to the far side. Weinstock. Weinstock out at center ice. Alberg, he tried to feed Naisland on that play. Naisland cutting in and behind the net after it, but the defense covers up. Krutov trying to get loose, but is taken away by Alberg. Alberg clearing it into the side of the net, and it's blocked by the defense, flipped over to the far side, and Maltsev's got it at center ice. Maltsev on the right-hand boards, gives it to Krutov. Now that is Lebedev. Lebedev clearing it out to center ice. Then Vasiliev deflected it off his skate back inside the zone. 2:30 left. The face-off will be outside the Swedish blue line on the offside.
Valery Vasiliev, who is just going off now, the veteran Soviet defenseman, exchanged sticks with Dan Delvis of the Canadian team after the Canada-Soviet game. And Dan took it into our dressing room. We have a gauge there where you can check the curvature and the width of it. And both the width of the stick and the curvature were about a half-inch more than normal. It's just a phenomenal blade that he has on it, but this seems accepted in European hockey.
Looks like you could have called everybody for a stick measurement after that game. Not only, who was it you were after? Golikov, Alexander Golikov. Now now from inside their own zone. Pervukin out at center ice. Waltin shooting it back in again. Digging in for it is Billy Litvinov in the corner. He slides it along the board. Schwartzhoff on the far side. Billy Litvinov moving in as well as the puck is cleared around the boards for Pervukin on this side. Pervukin behind the net. Billy Litvinov. Less than 2 minutes left in the game now. Into the corner it goes. Out in front. Intercepted by Billy Litvinov. He gets it to the blue line. Not out. Puck deflects past Alberg. And here come the Soviets again out of their own end. Schwartzhoff fighting his way to the line. He gets in ahead of the puck. A delayed offside, but the Swedes brought it right back out again. And it's bounced back into Soviet territory with 1:38 left in the hockey game. Now Schluchthoff to Balderas. Balderas had it poked off his stick. Anderson on the far side. Cleared it to the boards. Schwartzhoff coming down over the line. Trying to get through is Moline. Schluchthoff on the far side. Into the corner it goes. Behind the net, taken by Pervukin. He can't control it as the Swedes get it once again. Back out of the blue line. It's fired in by Moline. Behind the net. They're jousting for it as Billy Litvinov. It goes to the far boards for Schwartzhoff. Schluchthoff out at center ice for Pervukin. Pervukin just pokes it away. And we have less than a minute mercifully left in this hockey game as the puck is cleared over to the far side. There's Moline. He took a shot and he's wide of the net with it. Now it's Eriksson. Eriksson cutting in front of the net on the short side, and it winds up in the netting with 39 seconds left in the game. Soviets 9, Sweden 2. He looks a little bored, doesn't he?
Well, at 9-2, but give Sweden credit. They're down 9-0 at the end of 2 periods, and to come back, and really, there's no pressure on the Soviets to add to the total, but they came back and they scored 2 goals. The Soviets didn't get any in the third, and that's all you can hope for in a hockey game like this.
Saw Thomas Eriksson, a 20-year-old defenseman, has been drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers. He went to the bench, number 27 for Sweden. At center ice, Jonsson over the line. Here's the shot, and it just wide. The rebound up on the short side, and hugging the post there was Mushkin. Now in against the boards with 22 seconds left, and the puck is held for a foul. Be lots of emotion in here in a few minutes. The presentation of the goal to the United States. Now Vasiliev moving in. Vasiliev getting set. He shoots. It's right on. Now sort of a half-hearted shot. 2 seconds left. This game is over as the puck is fed out over center ice. The final score, 9-2. So the medal standings are complete now for the Olympic ice hockey. The United States gold, the Soviet Union silver, and Sweden will get the bronze.